Proposals in the liquor policy review start with an attempt to restrict the sale of liquor by raising the legal age of access to alcohol from 18 to 21 and also restrict advertising of alcohol and prohibit the promotion of liquor through sponsorships of sports teams and entertainment events. Now, with us in studio to give us more insight on this is Dr. Rianonyana Mukabane, Chief Director of Legislative Drafting at the Department of Trade and Industry. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Now, let's begin first with the raising of the legal limit from 18 to 21. What's the rationale behind that?
Okay. I think it should be brought to our attention that liquor, consumption of liquor, particularly at a very young age, it can actually bring adverse impacts, particularly in the area of brain functioning. A person's brain grows up until the age of 19, but also it will grow when a person is matured at the age of 21. If you consume liquor, obviously at that age you are likely to suffer long-term impairment, in your brain faculties, particularly around the issue of your motor skills, coordination, and also memory. So that is the basis why the DTI thought of really increasing the age limit.
So at the end, also for your own health benefit as well.
Of course.
But I think something that might have people's backs up a little bit is the fact that advertising in terms of sports teams and also these events or popular entertainment events, that there might be a restriction there, and especially looking at the fact that we've got teams like the Proteas, like Bafana Bafana, that receive substantial support from the liquor industry. Tell me about how that is intended to work in terms of curbing advertising and sponsorships.
Firstly, remember we have a policy which is basically issued out for public comments.
Right.
We obviously have views that come from the public that will also beef up what is currently a policy. But when we look at issue of sponsorship, it's a matter of why break it or rather fix it when it's not broken. Obviously, sponsorship will continue as usual. But with regards to advertising, it's only in specific areas. We are actually trying to say advertising should not really be put out, publicly the way it's actually already done, because it allows people to indulge in alcohol. But with regards to sponsorship, it will just continue as it was, and that is daily appreciated. I don't think really trade and industry wants to curb advertising in that sense, or maybe the way people really look into the policy. I think it's important for us to speak into the policy.
I think that's going to result in some very interesting discussions between the sponsors and, the said, of course, teams that are sponsored. But let's talk also about an attempt to deter staff members at liquor institutions or at bars from serving alcohol to people who are potentially already intoxicated, and thus, I think, resulting in them carrying some kind of implication if the person that was intoxicated were to commit some kind of crime or be involved in an accident. How is that going to work, or what's the proposition there?
Yeah, already there you see, you basically are exacerbating the situation. If a person is already really drunk and you basically give that person a top-up, I mean, you are really worsening the situation. Obviously, you will face the full might of the law. When there's a grievance in that area, there will be other processes that will be introduced for that matter to be looked at. And if those processes fail, obviously we'll have to really go the court route. So basically that's the way we envisage. But maybe let me also remind you, this is a policy. We'll also be happy to hear from the public what are their views with regards to what the DTI has put out there.
Exactly. I think what I'm sensing is just a general responsibility from the suppliers of liquor. But let's also talk about the control in terms of the restrictions of times when liquor will be sold and also the zoned areas.
With regards to times, the times are actually tabled on the DTI website.
Yes.
Anyone who wants to access those times, they are there. They actually vary. I may not even begin to speak about them. But also the times, they are basically solely for purposes of restricting people from selling really over time. I mean, you'd find taverns open, midnight until early hours of the morning. And some of these people who indulge in alcohol, they are educators. And imagine if a teacher is indulging in alcohol in the early hours of the morning and tomorrow has to go to school to face learners. I mean, really, we have to be very reasonable and be responsible in that area.
All right. And as I said, I think at the end of the day, just being responsible with our alcohol consumption. But, of course, lots to be talked about. But the question we want to ask to you is, do you think that the proposed alcohol control measures will help to reduce alcohol abuse? Let us know on our Facebook page, of course, and the Department of Trade and Industry's website is out there for you to absorb all of this information and then, of course, give all of your commentary as well. Thank you very, very much, Doctor. We really appreciate your attention this morning. And over to you right now, Ewan. What else is coming up on the show?